Good evening, everyone. How are you? I hope you have all watched yesterday's class, the question answer session, which was very helpful. If any of you have missed now, please don't miss those type of questions that I have brought in yesterday's class. And also, sorry for the class was delayed, but finally 11:30 the class was uploaded, but still due to some technical glitch, but still I did. Okay, do not miss those questions. Okay, for the last moment preparation you will have each type of pattern of the questions, and that is going to be very helpful. Let's start the remaining questions from the same PDF. Okay, there are so many, more than 3 to 400 questions, and if you will practice, definitely you will going to find some questions. Okay, so let's start. Subscribe the channel, and for the PDF, you know what you have to do. And all the best to all the rising professors. You have done a lot of hard work. You are going to crack it. Just believe in yourself and be positive. Okay, with this, let's start the class. Everybody subscribe and share. Yeah, we have finished this question, who called the literature the expression of society, and for today we have to start with the question, who said language is a system of difference without positive terms. Language is a system of differences without positive terms. From all the 10 units, we have the question in this PDF. Like the mock test 1 and mock test 2, we have solved already. So similarly, who said Derrida, Saussure, Lacan, and Roland Barthes? Language is a system of differences without positive terms. Um, NT is asking the questions related to movies. So I uploaded a video mentioning the PYQs and a few important questions. Okay, so you can watch. And also on Telegram channel, I have shared images of paper one, so you can join and explore those too. The PDF of the classes of all 10 units is already there. Okay, everybody, what will be the answer? Language is a system of differences. So language is, if they are talking about Derrida, Saussure, Lacan, Saussure, Ferdinand de Saussure, so Swiss linguist is the correct answer. In course in general linguistics 1916, he talked about, he argued that meaning is produced through the differences among signs. And remember the sign and signifier, the concept he gave. Okay. So correct answer would be option B, Ferdinand de Saussure. Okay, let's see the next question. Next question is from Dalit literature. Which poet co-founded the Dalit Panthers? This class is already there. Founders co-founded the Dalit Panthers and authored Golpitha. Namdev Dhasal, J.D. Pawar, Raja Dhale, and Daya Pawar. Co-founded the Dalit Panthers and authored Golpitha. So it's option A. We have done this in class. So option A, Namdev Dhasal. Namdev Dhasal. Namdev is the correct answer. Namdev, 1949 to 2014, was a co-founder of Dalit Panther. Dalit Panther is associated and inspired by which literary movement? You can quickly comment. 1972, along with J.B. Pawar and Raja Dhale. These were the other founders along with Namdev Dhasal. He was the co-founders, but later he was not associated, he left. Golpitha 1972 is his most famous Marathi poetry collection, noted for his raw, radical language depiction of Dalit urban life and strong political resistance. Okay, and this work is considered a landmark text in Dalit literature and protest poetry. Remember, so Dalit Namdev Dhassal, co-founder of Dalit Panthers, which is actually inspired by the Black Panther movement. Remember. Next question, mention the year in which Political Shakespeare, edited by Jonathan Dollimore and Alan Sinfield, was published. This is the June PYQ 2025. In which year Political Shakespeare, edited by Jonathan Dollimore and Alan Sinfield, was published? So correct answer is option D, 1985. Okay, 1985 is the correct answer. Political Shakespeare 1985 is a seminal new historist cultural materialist text edited by Jonathan Dollimore and Alan Sealfield. Remember, it reinterprets Shakespeare's plays through power, ideology, class, and politics, challenging traditional humanist readings. And this book is also a foundational to British cultural materialism. Who is associated with cultural materialism? Quickly comment your answer. And also, Shakespeare's life career is divided in four phases. Remember all the folios I have told you. 1923, 32. You can take it here, make it the opposite. Then 64 the third, and 85 was the fourth folio. Four phases: comedy, tragedy, histories, and romance. Next question we have. Where is the question? Okay, sorry. Next question we have, everyone. List 1 we have author and list 2 region. Chinua Achebe, Derek Walcott, Pablo Neruda and Rabindranath Tagore. You have to match the author with the region they belong to. Region: Caribbean, Africa, Latin America and India. World literature class is also finished. Last moment revision. Quickly comment. We can match Chinua Achebe, Africa, Rabindranath Tagore, India. So A we can match with second, and there is only one option. So Derek Walcott, Caribbean literature, Pablo Neruda, Latin America. Okay, remember Chinua Achebe, Africa. Remember the African trilogy, all the works 1958, 1960 and 64. The year I have memorized you in world literature, the African trilogy, Things Fall Apart, then No Longer at Ease and Arrow of God. So Africa, Derek O Caribbean, Pablo Neruda Latin America and India. Rabindranath Tagore, all are very important. Next question we have a novel that blends myth, history and fantasy to narrate the rise and fall of the Bendia family. A novel that blends myth, history and fantasy to narrate the rise and fall of Bendia family. First of all, tell me in which work you will find the Bendia family. By which writer? The Aleph, 100 Years of Solitude, Love in the Time of Cholera, and Midnight Children. So if you have watched the first part of the question session, the important questions, you do not miss this two, second part, okay? Correct answer? So it's option B, 100 Years of Solitude, Magic Realism by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 1967. And magic realism is the most important theme and technique here. See the next question, everyone. Consider the following statement about Franz Kafka. Kafka wrote primarily in German. The Metamorphosis was published in 1915. Kafka belongs to magic realism and his work reflects alienation and bureaucratic oppression. See the options and please get the correct answer. So Kafka wrote primarily in German. It is actually correct because he belonged to German, everyone. So his work majorly written in German. The Metamorphosis also the work by Franz Kafka, and it is actually published in 1915. So it is also true, and its original title is Die Verwundung. Should I write the name here? It's die second. 1950 is correct. Thus, title die were. Okay, this is the original title. Okay, remember. Primarily German is correct. Metamorphosis correct. 1915 Kafka belongs to magic realism. No, this is incorrect. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. It was the correct who is actually associated with, and his works reflect alienation and bureaucratic oppression. This statement is also correct. So first, second, and fourth option will be correct. So first, second, and fourth, third option B will be the correct answer. Okay, let's see the next question. Now arrange the following works in chronological order of the. One second. The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, The Stranger by Albert Camus, and 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Correct answer? Correct answer, everyone? The Metamorphosis, War and Peace, The Stranger, and 100 Years of Solitude. We just saw War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, 1869. Franz Kafka, 1915. Then we have The Stranger, 1942, and 100 Years of Solitude, 1967. So as per this, you can arrange work. Okay. So first will be 1869, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Then second one will be 1915 by Franz Kafka. Okay. So second option will be the first. Third and first we can find here. Then we will have to find out. Third option will be The Stranger by Albert Camus. So option A will be the correct answer. Okay. Option A will be the correct answer. Remember, War and Peace, 1869. Stranger, 1942. Years of Solitude, 1967. And this one is 1915. Remember. Next question we have, it's a matching. List 1 we have moment, and list 2 we have the writer that they belong to. Magical realism, existentialism, modernism, and absurdism. Franz Kafka, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Virginia Woolf, and Samuel Beckett. This is actually for your practice. It's a good revision. Magical realism, A with first, A with second, we can match. So in option A and B. Existentialism, Samuel Beckett. So B with 4. B with 4 in option A only we can find. Modernism, we have existentialism and absurdism. Modernism, Virginia Woolf, and absurdism. So this will be the correct answer, D with first. Okay. Let's see the next question. Now again we have to match author with their work. Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Albert Camus, Leo Tolstoy, and Franz Kafka. The same work you just saw. Gabriel Garcia Marquez we can match with 100 of Solitude, A with Albert Camus, The Stranger, Leo Tolstoy, War and Peace, and Franz Kafka, The Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, remember 1915, 100 Solitude, 1967. 1967, 1915, The Stranger, 1942, and 1886. Okay, remember. 1869, War and Peace. So this is how you can practice. Is mentioned here. Next question we have, arrange the following works in chronological order. Notebook of a Return to the Native Land, In the Castle of My Skin, Banana Bottom, and Creek Crack Monkey. First of all, tell me from which native Which region all these writers belong to? Notebook of a Return to the Native Land, In the Castle of Mesquite, Banana Bottom, Creek, Crack, Monkey. You have to arrange them. Correct answer, everyone. Banana Bottom. It was by Claude McKay, related to Harlem Renaissance. Remember? And it was 1933. Creek Crack Monkey, 1970 by Merle Hodge. Where should I write? 1970. Then in Castle of My Skin, 1953. And in which of the 19 Samuel Beckett's work first performed in 1953? Notebook of a Return to the Native Land, 1939. And who is the author? Amy Caesar. So let me tell you, the first one will be 1970, 1974. Arrange the work by these. Should I write very clearly? Okay. Native Land will be 1939. Skin, 1953. Bottom, 1933. And Monkey, 1970. Now, as per these years, you can put them in correct chronology. So, first one will be Banana Bottom, C option. Third option will be here. Then the first, Return to the Native Land. Who is the writer of all these works? This is by Amy Caesar. Remember the negritude term, okay? Then in Castle of My Skin, George Lemming, Banana Bottom, Claude McKay from Harlem Renaissance, Creek Crack Monkey, Merle Lodge. Okay, remember. Let's see the next question. It's too confusing and the screen is too small to write on. Now you have to match writer and moment. Claude McKay, Amy Caesar, George Lemming, and Diane Brand. Harlem Renaissance, Negritude, Post-Colonial Caribbean Novel, and Caribbean Diaspora Writing. Claude McKay, just told you, belong to Harlem Renaissance, Amy Caesar, Negritude Movement. So A first, B second, we can find in the option A only. See George Lemming, post-colonial Caribbean novel, and Diane Brand, Caribbean diaspora writing belong to. Okay, let's see the next question. Now again you have to match. Just for the revision, match quickly. Just you have solved this question. Work and their author. Notebook of a Return, Native Land, Amy Caesar, Creek Crack Monkey, Merle Lodge. Lodge spelling will be Lodge. In the Castle of My Skin, Lemming, The Dragon Can't Dance, Earl Lovelace. Okay, you have matched. And Return to the Native Land, Amy Caesar. It's clear now? Let's see the next question. Here you can see Notebook 1939. Again, check the answer with the year. In the Castle of West 1953, 1979, Earl Lovelace, Notebook 1939, Creek Crack Monkey 1970. Next question, who propounded the Rasa theory in Indian aesthetics? Now, this type of question we also see A, B, C, and D question. Bahama. Who propounded the Rasa theory in Indian aesthetic? Anandvardhana, Bharatwani, Abhinav Gupta, and Bama. It's not Bamaha. There should be Bahama, right? Yeah, I have notes of Bahama, not Bamaha. Sorry, everybody, for the spelling. Who propounded the Rasa theory in Indian aesthetic? Indian aesthetic, Rasa theory. Correct answer, it's option B, Bharat Muni. Okay, Bharat Muni is the correct answer. Rasa theory, remember, it's important and obviously for the exam. Bharat Muni propounded the Rasa theory in Natya Shastra. He defined Rasa as the aesthetic relish experienced by the spectator, and famous Rasa, Vibhav, Anubhav, Vyabhikari, Samyog, and Nispat. Next, how many Rasa were originally proposed by Bharat Muni? How many? From Indian aesthetics, there were questions. How many rasa were originally proposed by Bharat Muni? So it is option C, 8. Option C, 8. Bharat originally proposed 8 rasas excluding Sant. And the 8 rasas here, Shringar, Hasya, Karuna, Rudra, you can take. Next, who added Sant ras as the ninth rasa? So here you just saw originally Bharat Muni added 8th rasa. Now, who added Sant rasa? Sant rasa was excluded, na? Here, Sant rasa was excluded. So you have to find out who added Sant ras as the ninth ras. Bharat, Dandin, Abhinav Gupta, and Mamta. Who added ninth ras? Sant. So it's option C, Abhinav Gupta. Okay. Option C, Abhinav Gupta. His major work, Abhinav Bharti, that is commentary on Natya Shastra, Sant Rasa represented detachment and spiritual calm. So it is Abhinav Gupta who added ninth, that is a Sant Rasa, to the eighth one. Next, we have to match the ras with their sthai bhav. It's a Shringara, Karun, Veera, Bhayanka, and Rati, Soka, Utsaha, and Bhaya. We have to match them. Indian aesthetics. So let's see the correct answer. It's option A. We can match option A, Shringara with A, Rati, Karuna with Sok, Veera with Utsaha, and Bhank with Bhaya. Okay, remember. They asked the questions from Indian aesthetic too, and that became too difficult during the exam. Who propounded the Dhwani theory? Who propounded the Dhwani theory? Bharat Bahama, Anandvardhana, and Abhinav Gupta. Dhwani theory. It's Anand Vardhana in Dhwanyalok. Remember, Dhwanyalok he propounded. Anand Vardhana proposed Dhwani theory in Dhwanyalok, 19th century. Dhwani, that means suggested meaning superior to literal meaning, and according to him, rasa is primarily conveyed through Dhwani. So, in which work Dhwanyalok, Anand Vardhana, who propounded Dhwani theory. Next, according to Anand Vardhana, what is the soul of poetry? Now, according to Aristotle, what is the soul of poetry, everybody? Soul of poetry. So in Indian aesthetic, you have to find out too that according to Anand Vardhana, what is the soul of poetry? So it's option C, Dhwani. Option C, Dhwani. Famous Kavya Saya Atma Dhwani, according to him. So Dhwani is the soul of poetry, where it is mentioned in Dhwanyalok by Anand Vardhan. Now, who developed the theory of a Vakroti? It's Bahama, Dandin, Kuntak, and Mamta. Who developed the theory of Vakroti? Who developed the theory of Vakroti? Do not miss the questions. So it's option C, Kuntak. Kuntak proposed Vakroti. Vakroti, that means oblique expression in Vakrot Tijvita in 10th century. So here poetry becomes poetic due to deviation from ordinary expression. So oblique expression by Kuntak, he propounded Vakroti theory. Next, the theory of Auchitya, that is propriety, is associated with whom? Auchitya theory. Auchitya theory is propounded by home. So it's option B, Shemendra. Option B, Shemendra is the correct answer. Shemendra wrote Auchitya Vikara Charcha in 11th century. So Auchitya means appropriateness of emotion, character, language, situation. Without Auchitya, rasa collapses. Okay. Now, which school of criticism considers Alankara, that is the figure of speech, as central to poetry? The fourth options, Vakroti school. The D, Vakroti school. Which school of criticism consider Alankara, that is the figure of speech, as central to poetry? Alankara. So it's option C, Alankara school. Okay, everyone. Option C, Alankara. Early critics like Bahama in Kavya Alankara and Dandin, that is Kavya Darsha, emphasized Alankara and they believed ornamentation creates poetic beauty. So here they are in Indian aesthetic, they are talking about the work's enhancement through the beauty of the language. Next, this is the statement. You have to consider the following statement. Dhwani theory emphasizes suggested meaning. Vakroti theory focuses on deviation from normal speech. Alankara theory considers figure of speech as a secondary. And Rasa theory focuses on reader-spectator experiences. Consider the following statements, which is the correct. Correct answer. Today we'll have to finish all the questions in this PDF. So option A will be the correct answer. A will be the option A. 1, 2 and 4. Dhwani theory emphasizes suggested meaning. Vakroti theory focuses on deviation from normal speech and third is wrong. Fourth, Rasa theory focuses on reader-spectator experience. So this makes a statement A correct. 1, 2 and 4. Now which concept of Indian aesthetics is closely associated with Abhinav Gupta? Rasa as emotion, rasa as moral instruction, rasa as aesthetic bliss, and ras as a social realism. Which concept of Indian aesthetic is closely associated with Abhinav Gupta? Correct answer, everyone. So it's option C. Option C, Abhinav Gupta associated with Indian aesthetics. Okay, the Indian aesthetic concept is actually associated with Abhinav Gupta interpreted rasa as a spiritual bliss, not it is a mere collection concept. Next, you have to match this Dhwani, Rasa, Vakroti, Auchitya, Natya Shastra, Dhwanilok, Kuntak, and Shimendra. So Dhwani with Dhwanilok, A with second, we can find in the only option A. Rasa, Natya Shastra, Vakroti, Kuntak, and Auchitya, Shimendra. Okay. Next question. Now, who among the following is the author of All About H. Hatter, 1965, an experimental Indian English novel? Correct answer. Want to finish this fast. Who among the following is the author? Arun Joshi, G.V. Desani, Anita Desai, Kushwant Singh. Option B, G.V. Desani is the correct answer. All About Hatter. G.V. Desani's All About Hatter 1965 is a famous for its linguistic hybridity, parody, and experimentation. Okay, so remember experimentation here it is mentioned in the question experimental Indian English novel All About Hatter 1965. It is by G.V. Desani from Indian literature who wrote So Many Hungers, So Many Hangers 1947, a novel influenced by Gandhian ideology. Raja Rao, Vani Bhattacharya, Mulkraj Anand, R.K. Narayan. So Many Hungers. Remember one of the Hungers work is also written by Jayant Mahapatra, but this is the So Many Hungers 1947. It is a novel. It is option B, Bhavani Bhattacharya. Okay. Option B, Bhavani Bhattacharya. So Many Hungers, 1947, reflects Gandhian philosophy, famine, and freedom struggle. Bhattacharya is often categorized as minor but socially committed novelist. Remember the independence year 1947 of India, So Many Hungers by Bhavani Bhattacharya. Now, which of the following writers is best associated with military adventure and historical novels? Kamala Markandeya, Anita Desai, Manohar Malgaonkar, and Nayantara Sehgal. Best associated with military adventure and historical novels. So it's option C, Manohar Malgaonkar. Okay. Option C, Manohar Malgaonkar is known for The Princess 1963 and Combat of Shadows 1950, focusing on war, power, and masculinity. So the question was that which of these writers associated with military adventure and historical novels? So it is option C, Manohar Malgaonkar. Remember the Princess 1963 and Shadows 1950. Now, the statement question, consider the following statements about Indian English minor writers. Bhisham Sahni's Tamas depicts the trauma of partition. Nirad C. Chaudhary's prose is strongly anti-colonial. Raja Rao's emphasized Indian metaphysics in English prose, and Kushwant Singh is known for comic realism and historical fiction. Correct answer? Bhishma Sahni's Tamas is the work. Correct. Okay. Niraj Chaudhary's prose is strongly anti-colonial. This is wrong. Raja Rao emphasized Indian metaphysics in English prose. Correct. Kushwant Singh is known for comic realism and historical fiction. This is also correct. So, first, third, and fourth option A will be the correct answer. Okay. Option A will be the correct answer. Let's see the next question. Now, here you have to match these writers. Thomas, Train to Pakistan, The Private Life of an Indian Prince, and Autobiography of an unknown Indian. Khushwant Singh, Bhishma Sahni, Niraj C. Chaudhary, and Mulk Raj Anand. So we can match Tamas with Bhishma Sahni, Train to Pakistan, Khushwant Singh. So A with second, B with first. The Private Life of an Indian Prince, Mulk Raj Anand, and Autobiography of an Unknown Indian. Option 3 will be the correct answer. C with 4 and D with third. Okay. So A2, B1, C4, and D3. Option A will be the correct answer. Thomas Bhishma Sahni 1974. Remember, Kushwant Singh 1956, Mulk Raj Anand 1953, and Niraj C. Chaudhary 1951. Remember the year for chronology. Next question we have, now you have to arrange the following works in chronological order of the publication. Swami and Friends, Untouchable, Kantapura, and Coolie. Kantapura by Raja Rao, 1938. Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand, 1935. Mulk Raj Anand Coolie, 1936. Okay. Swami and Friends, it is also 1935 by R.K. Narayan. Remember. So, as per this, the first work will be Swami and Friends and Untouchable. So, first D, B, D, B here. Option 3 will be the correct answer. Okay. Remember. Next, which of the following works is written in the form of an Indian oral narrative Hari Katha style? This is also a PYQ. Which of the following works is written in the form of an Indian oral narrative Hari Katha style? The one who have already given the exam from 31st, they are saying paper 1 is difficult, tricky in compared to the paper 2. Let's see what happened in English. Indian oral narrative Harikatha style. So it's option B, Kanthapura. Okay, Kanthapura is the correct answer. Remember, Kanthapura 1938 by Rajarao uses oral storytelling, myth, and Gandhian ideology. So this is the Harikatha style. Next, identify the writer known for Indo-Anglican autobiographical criticism. Writer known for Indo-Anglian autobiographical criticism. Indo-Anglian. So it's option C, Nirad C. Chaudhary will be the correct answer. Autobiography of an Unknown Indian, 1951. Critical Elpis, Colonial Nostalgia. So option C will be the correct answer. Next, you have to arrange all these works, partition novels chronologically. Train to Pakistan, Kushwant Singh, Tamas by Bhishma Sani, Azadi by Chaman Nahal, and Ice Candy Man by Bapsi Sidhwa. Justice of Train to Pakistan, Kushwant Singh, 56 1956, Tamas by Bhishma Sahni, 1947, told you to remember. Azadi by Chaman Nahal, 75 19, and Ice Candy Man by Bapsi Sidhwa, it is 1988. So as per this, the correct chronology you can arrange. 1956, 1947, 75. The first one will be Tamas by Bhishma Sani. So B will be the correct answer, option 4. Okay. Next question. Which novel by Bhavani Bhattacharya deals with feminine? Music for Mohini, He Who Rides a Tiger, So Many Hungers, and Shadow from Ladakh. Feminine. One question you just shared. It was option C, So Many Hungers, 1947. 1947, in the same year, you will find 1947, Tamas by Bhishma Misani and So Many Hungers by Bhavani Bhattacharya. Same year. Next, which work experiments heavily with Indian English idiom? Kanthapura, Untouchable, All About H. Hatter and the Serpent and the Rope. Correct answer? So it's option C, All About H. Hatter. All About by G.V. Desani. The question you just solved. G.V. Desani's All About H. Hatter 1948 is known for its linguistic experimentation. So option C will be the Indian English idiom. Correct answer. Now let's see the statement based question. Now consider the following statements about Indian English fiction. Rajarao emphasized the spiritual dimension of Indian life. Bhavani Bhattacharya focused on socio-economic realism. G.V. Desani rejected linguistic experimentation. And Kushwant Singh's Train to Pakistan deals with partition. Correct answer? So correct answer is option A. Option A, that is 1, 2, and 3 will be the correct. Rajarao emphasized the spiritual dimension of Indian life. Correct. Bhavani Bhattacharya focused on socio-economic realism. This is also correct. And 3. G.V. Desani rejected linguistic experimentation. No, we just solved the question. His work based on linguistic idiom, Indian English idiom. So that is incorrect. Kushwant Singh's Train to Pakistan deals with partition. This is also correct. So option A will be the correct answer. Now consider the following statements about Bhavani Bhattacharya. He combined Gandhian philosophy with social realism. So Many Hungers, it was published in 1947. His fiction focuses on the Bengal feminine. He was primarily a dramatist. Correct answer? Correct answer, it's option A, 1, 2, and 3 only. First, he combined Gandhian philosophy with social realism. Correct. So many hungers. Just we solved the question. 1947, it was published. His fiction focuses on Bengal, feminine. This is also correct. And he was primarily a dramatist. This is incorrect. So, option A, 1, 2, and 3 will be the correct answer. Okay. Next, who among the following is associated with the poem The Golden Threshold? The Golden Threshold. Kamala Das, Sarojini Naidu, Toru Dutt, and A.K. Ramanujan. And in which year this work was published? So with the golden threshold, it is by option B, Sarojini Naidu. Remember, 1905, and Sarojini Naidu is also known as the Nightingale of India. Next question we have, which writer is correctly matched with the theme and work? Raja Rao Kantapura, Gandhian nationalism, Kushwant Singh Azadi, Bengal feminine, Bhishma Sani Coolie, industrial exploitation, Chaman Nahal untouchable caste operation. Correctly matched, we have to find out. So it's absolutely clear here. Kushwant Singh Azadi, no, it was by Chaman Nahal. In Bengali, it is correct, incorrect. Bhishma Sahani Coolie, no, Coolie is by Mulk Raj Anand. 1936 it was published. Untouchable is also by Mulk Raj Anand, 1935. So this one and this one and this one, absolutely incorrect. We have to find the correct match. So Raja Rao Kantapura, 1938 is Gandhian nationalism is the correct answer. Okay. Next question we have, who wrote The Serpent and the Rope 1960? Serpent and the Rope 1960. R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao, Mulkraj Anand, Sri Aurobindo. So it's option B, Raja Rao. Okay, Raja Rao 1960. It is the correct answer. This is from the Indian aesthetics. We can skip this. Now let's matching questions. You have to match the princes who he who rides a tiger, a silence of desire, Meghnad Bad Kavya and Kamla Markandeya, Michelle, Michael Madhusudan Dutt, Manohar Malgaonkar, and Bhavani Bhattacharya. You have to match the work with the correct writer. First, you see the questions here, and then the statement. The prince, he who writes the tiger, silence of desire, Meghnad Daya and Kavya, Kamla Markandeya, Michael Madhusudan Dutt, Manohar Malgaonkar, Bhavani Bhattacharya, and see the options, not try to match them correctly. Correct answer, The Prince. The Prince was by Manohar Malgaonkar. So A we can match with 3. A with 3. Okay. Then Kamla Markandeya, He Who Rides the Tiger. B we can match with Bhavani Bhattacharya, He Who Rides the Tiger. So B with 4 we can find A3, B4 in the option A only. Okay. Then Meghnad we can find in the Kamla Markandeya, C with first, and D C with first, A Silence of Desire, sorry, Kamla Markandeya, and D Meghnad Bad Kavya is Bhavani Bhattacharya, the last option. I took the wrong name. Okay, don't get confused. It is correctly mentioned here. The Prince by Manohar. It's too tiny. I can't see properly. Manohar Malgaonkar, A with third, correctly matched. He Who Rides the Tiger, we can match with 4. B with 4. Then C we can match with first, Kamla Markandeya, and the last one we can match with, okay, second, Michael Madhusudan Dutt. So this is the correct answer. Okay, everyone. Remember the works. Let's see the next question. Which of these is a famous historical novel by Manohar Malgaonkar that depicts the Sepoy mutiny, a distant drum, the devil's wind, combat of shadows, and a bend in the Ganges? So it's option B, The Devil's Wind. The Devil's Wind is the famous historical novel by Manohar Malgaonkar depicts the Sepoy mutiny This novel is a fictionalized account of the life of Nana Sahib, a key leader in the 1857 rebellion. Next question, Kamla Markande's debut novel, which brought her international acclaim for its portrayal of rural poverty in India, is titled Nectar in Sieve, Some Inner Fury, Possession, and The Nowhere Man. All these works you can easily remember. First, Kamla Markande's debut novel, which brought her international acclaim. So it's option A, Nectar in Sieve. Okay, Nectar in Sieve, 1954. It was published. It follows the struggles of a peasant woman named Rukmani. Rukmani against hunger and industrial changes. So 1954. Remember the year. Character you have Rukmani, peasant who is a peasant woman who suffers and struggles with hunger, how industry changes and what type of situations create for the poor people. So Nectar in Sieve you can find 1954. Next, Michael Madhusudan Dutt, the author of Meghnad Bad Kavya, is also credited with writing which of the following English verse works? The Golden Threshold, the Word of Time, The Captive Lady, and The Striders. Correct answer option C, The Captive Lady. Okay, The Captive Lady, which was published in 1849. This is the narrative poem is based on the legend of Prithvi Raj Chauhan and Princess Sanyogita. Okay, The Captive Lady. Next, Bhavani Bhattacharya's novel So Many Hunger is set against the backdrop of which historical event? This is the PYQ. The partition of India, the Bengal Famine of 1943, the Sepoy Mutiny, the Quit India Movement. So Many Hungers, 1947, publication you remember. By Bhavani Bhattacharya. So it's option B, The Bengal Feminine of 1943. Okay, the novel explores the themes of social exploitation and the struggle for freedom during the devastating man-made disaster. Next, you have to match. There is no option still. Let's see. Like yesterday, we have done. List one, we have author, and list two, we have work Manohar Malgaonkar, Kamla Markandeya, Bhavani Bhattacharya, Michael Madhusudan Dutt, Music for Moini, Bend in the Ganges, The Golden Honeycomb, and Sarmishta. Manohar Malgaonkar, you can match A Bend in the Ganges. We have just Kamla Markandeya, we can match The Golden Honeycomb, B with 3. Bhavani Bhattacharya, Music for Mohini, and Michael Madhusudan Dutt, D with 4. Sarmishta, okay? Remember. Let's see the next question. Yes, sir. Manohar Palgankar's Bend in the Ganges, it is a major partition novel exploring the ideologies of violence and non-violence. Okay, remember. Then Kamla Markandeya, The Golden Honeycomb, and it is an epic historical novel detailing the lives of Indian royalty under British rule. Bhavani Bhattacharya's Music for Moini 1952, it is a novel depicts the clash between the modern education and traditional village values. Michael Madhusudan Dutt's Sarmishta, his first major play in Bengali by Michael Madhusudan Dutt, which introduced a blank verse to the language. Okay, blank verse. Now let's see the next question. Writer and work. You have to match Toru Dutt, Santa Rama Rao, Cornelia Sorabji, and Kru Krupabai Satya Anandan. Remember the House, 1956, Bianca or the Young Spanish Maiden. This is the work, and they are the writers. Shagun, A Story of Native Christian Life, and Between the Twilights, 1908. Toru Dutt. The Lotus is a very famous walk. Toru Dutt. We can match Bianca. or The Young Spanish Maiden, 1878. Then we can match B, Santha Rama Rao, Remember the House, 1956. These are the lesser known writers and lesser known work. Okay, so sometimes NT tricked all of you like this. So do remember. See, you can match with 4. Between the Twilights, 1908, and Krupa by Satya Anandan, Shagun, A Story of Native Christian Life, 1894. So remember the year and writer and the work. Next, arrange the landmark works in the order they were published from earliest to latest. Correct answer. Rajmohan's wife Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Gitanjali Rabindranath Tagore, The Travels of Deen Muhammad, Sheikh Deen Muhammad, Govinda Samanta, Lal Bihari De. Bihari De. Landmarks works in the order they were published from earliest than the latest one. Correct answer, it's option. Oh, I have not mentioned the options. Okay, so let me clear here. Option C, The Travels of Deen Muhammad. You have to put them in chronology, no? So as per the year, you have to put them. So C, The Travels of Deen Muhammad. Remember the year 1794. Okay. A, Rajmohan's Wife, 1864. D, Govinda Samanta Lal Bihari De. It is 1874. And 19 Gitanjali by Rabindranath Tagore, 1910, and there is also 1912, the English version. Okay, so this is the correct year. Let's see the next question. Match the writers with the works that define their unique contribution to Indian English literature. G.V. Desani, Arun Kolatkar, Bhavani Bhattacharya, and Jerry Pinto. Jejuri, Music for Mohini, All About H. Hatter, M. and The Big Home. You have to match the writers and here is mentioned here. G.V. Desani, All About Hatter, A with 3. Arun Kolatkar, Jejuri, this is the very important and most repeated work by Arun Kolatkar, appear in one line questions or matching or chronology. So remember 1976 everybody. Bhavani Bhattacharya, Music for Moini, 1952, and Jerry Pinto, M and the Big Home, 2012. Okay. Now you have to place these post 1947 novels in the correct chronological sequence of publication. Train to Pakistan, Kushwant Singh, 1947 was the autobiography of an unknown Indian. Remember? Cry the Peacock, Anita Desai, Nectar in Sieve, Kamla Markandeya. Correct answer, everyone. Correct chronological sequence of publication we have to put them. Correct answer, Train to Pakistan, Kushwant Singh was 1956 and not 1947. Okay, the autobiography of an unknown. How many years we have to remember? Nectar in a Sieve, 1954. Die the Peacock, 1957, 1963, and Autobiography of an Unknown Indian by Nirad C. Chaudhary, 1951. So you can put them in correct. Remember the year. These type of questions are like 1956, Train to Pakistan, Autobiography of an Unknown Indian, 51, Try the Peacock, 63, and Nectar in a Sieve, 54. Okay, so first one, B will be the correct answer. Okay, B will be the first. Let's see the next question. Next question, arrange the following philosophical and poetic works of Sri Aurobindo in the correct order of their first publication in book from earliest to latest. Essay on the Gita, the Mother, the Life Divine, Volume 1st, Savitri, a Legend and a Symbol, Part 1, and On the Veda. Correct answer, everybody. Essay on Gita, 1922. What's happening? Essay on Gita, 1922. Remember the mother, 1928. The life divine. His works always appear for chronology or matching. Okay, and Rabindranath Tagore also. Savitri, 1939. The life divine. The life divine, 39. Savitri, 50. And on the Veda, 56. So these are the correct years of all these works. Okay. Life Divine 1939 is primarily philosophical work that explores the descent of the divine into matter. Search results. This is what 2026. There are very the work that is lesser known. It is very difficult to find the correct year. So the Life Divine. Remember the correct year actually to match the questions in or put them in correct chronology. 1939 is primarily philosophical work that explores the descent of the divine into matter. Essay on Gita, 1922. Okay, it is a collection of essay originally published in the journal Arya. They can also ask Arya explaining the synthesis of yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. The Mother, 1928. 1928 shorter text describing the four powers in the personalities of the Divine Mother Savitri. A legend of a symbol, 1950. Okay, it is an epic poem that serves as a spiritual biography published shortly before his death, 1950. And the last one was Foundations of Indian Culture, 1953. The last one work was On the Veda. It is the foundation of Indian culture. Posthumously, this work was published in book form, okay, through the written much earlier 1918 to 1921. But remember the 1953, the publication year. It provides the defense of Indian civilization and on the Veda. Next question we have place these foundational texts and movements in order of their emergence. The rise of Dalit Panther movement in Maharashtra, publication of Annihilation of Caste by B.R. Ambedkar, publication of Gulam Giri by Jyotirao Phule, and publication of the Buddha and his Dhamma by B.R. Ambedkar. The rise of Dalit Panther movement related to Dalit literature, Dalit writers, okay, Dalit Panther movement, which is very important, founded by Raja Dhale, Namdev Dhasal. So publication of, we have to put them in the first of their emergence, right? So the rise of the Dalit Panther movement, it was in 1972. 1972, publication of Annihilation of Caste by B.R. Ambedkar, 1936, publication of Gulam Giri Jyotirao Phule, it is 1873, and Buddha and his Dhamma by B.R. Ambedkar, it is 1957. So the first one will be C, the second one will be 1936 B, okay. Then 1957 we have option D, and the last one will be A. So C, B, D, A will be the correct chronology. Remember the year 1972, Dalit Panther movement related to Dalit literature, publication of Annihilation of Caste, B.R. Ambedkar, 1936, Gulam Giri by Jyotirao Phule, 1873, Buddha and his Dhamma, B.R. Ambedkar by B.R. Ambedkar, 1957. So C, B, D, A will be the correct answer. Okay. Now see this question, everyone. In the Republic, Plato argues that poetry should be banished from the ideal state primarily because option A, B, C, D is mentioned here. You please read and find out the correct answer. Correct answer. It is twice removed from reality and feeds the irrational ways of the soul. It encourages political rebellion against the philosopher king. It is technically inferior to the art of painting, and Aristotle had already perfected the definition of tragedy. Option E will be the correct answer. Okay. Only one statement is the correct. Plato's theory of mimesis imitation suggests that since the physical world, he said that a poet should be banished from the world because they spread immorality in the society. So that's what he mentioned. Is a shadow of the world of ideas, that is art in an imitation of the physical is a shadow of a shadow. Okay, shadow of a shadow. Next question we have, in the preface to Lyrical Ballad 1800, William Wordsworth famously defined poetry as option A, B, C, and D, the best words in the best order, the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility, a criticism of life under the conditions fixed for such criticism, and an escape from personality. In 1800, you have to find out William Wordsworth. So option A, B will be the correct answer. Spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Okay. Next question we have, you have to match the Matthew Arnold's critical concept with their definitions based on his seminal work, The Function of Criticism at the Present Time, 1864, and The Study of Poetry, 1880. That means Matthew Arnold has given a lot of critical concept in the function of criticism at the present time and the study of poetry. So you have to match these lines, like you have disinterested interestedness, the touchstone method, high seriousness, and where is the fourth option? There is three options. There are three options you have to match. Disinterestedness, you have to find that where in which work this appears, why he has used. This is the definition and the concept. Disinterestedness, the touchstone method, high seriousness. Disinterestedness, you can match with option B. Okay. First with B we can match. Then you can match second, the touchstone method, with A, to use line from great masters as a standard to judge new poetry. So second will be A, and the high seriousness, the essential grand style and moral depth required for great poetry. So disinterestedness, to see the object as in itself it really is without political or practical biasness. So this is the correct matching of the work that he has mentioned in the Function of Criticism, 1864, and The Study of Poetry, 1880. Who? Matthew Arnold. Okay, let's see the next question. Next question we have, in his influential essay Tradition and the Individual Talent, 1919, T.S. Eliot introduced the impersonal theory of poetry. What does he mean by this? Option A, B, C, and D. The poet must express their most private personal emotions. The poet's mind is a catalyst where experience combined, but the poet's personality must remain separate. Tradition is dead collection of past works that modern writers should ignore. Poetry is simply a tool for social and political propaganda. There is only one statement is correct. That's why that you don't need to get the correct like options. You don't need. Correct answer. Tradition and the Individual Talent, 1919, by T.S. Eliot. So option B will be the correct answer. Remember Catalyst, how he explained where experience combined, but the poet's personality, he gave the chemical example of a chemical he gave, where experience combined, but the poet's personality must remain separate. That means the progress of an artist is a continual self-sacrifice or continual extension of personality. What this is what he argued in the Tradition and the Individual Talent. Now arrange the following landmark critical text. Let me see if there is option or not. There is no options, but still you can just get the correct answer, everyone. Arrange the following landmark critical text in the correct order of their publication. An Apology for Poetry, Sir Philip Sidney; Poetics by Aristotle; Biographia Literaria, S.T. Coleridge; The Sacred Wood, T.S. Eliot; and Ars Poetica, Horace. You have to arrange the following landmark in the correct order of their publication. Correct order. So with the by the ages, we can put them in correct chronology. Okay. Correct answer. So Aristotle is mentioned here, so we can put him in the first. Then as per Horace is also here, so E. Okay. Then we have an apology for poetry. We can put A. Then Biographia Literaria, ST College Romantic Age, we can put here C, and Sacred Wood T.S. Eliot from the Modern Age. So D will be the correct answer. That's why I'm telling you that by remembering the from which ages the writer actually belong to, we can also, this is also one of the important trick you can apply to get the correct chronological question solved. Okay. So poetics introduced the concept of catharsis, hamartia, anagnosis, peripeteia, and the unity of action, that is TPA, time, place, action. Ars Poetica by focused on decorum and the poet's duty to instruct and delight. It is by Horace. Remember, an apology for poetry. Apology for Poetry defended poetry against Puritan attacks in the Renaissance age 1580. Biographia Literaria 1817 distinguished between the fancy and imagination. Okay, and the Sacred Wood 1920, the collection containing Eliot's most famous essays on tradition and the objective correlative, the Hamlet and his problems. Okay, 1919. See this question. Arrange these texts which transition criticism from the Renaissance to the Age of Reason. An essay on dramatic poesy by John Dryden, Lives of the most eminent English poet Samuel Johnson, The Art of Poetry Nicholas Boileau, an essay on criticism by Alexander Pope. Arrange, we have to arrange all these texts which transition criticism from the Renaissance to the Age of Reason. Or not. I'll finish all the questions, whether there will be option or not. We'll have to revise. In Asian dramatic poesy, the Restoration age is 1600. So A, the art of poetry, Nicholas, art of poetry. C. Then essay on criticism, Alexander Pope, neoclassical is lives of the most eminent. B will be there, and the last one will be D. Okay. The Art of Poetry, The Essay on Criticism, Alexander of Neoclassical Lives of the Most Eminent. 1779 was the publication year, no? 1712, if we will go to the Rape of the Lock work, and it was 1779. So this will come first, and B will be the last, okay? This is how you can recall everyone. 1668, the work Restoration Age, John Dryden, it is a foundational English work debating the merits of a French versus English drama and ancient versus modern writers. French versus English drama and ancient versus modern writers. Option C was Lives of the Most Eminent. 52 poets Samuel Johnson mentioned, and it is an influential French treatise. No, neoclassical rules for the rest of the Europe. This is the work Lives of the Most Eminent English Poet. Now we're talking about the C option, the art of poetry, Nicholas Boyle, okay, 1674. Then a verse is, it is nature, and option D, 1711, neoclassical age. It is nature and the imitation of classical Greek and Roman standards. He talked about 1711. So an essay on criticism, Matthew Arnold, okay? No. Alexander Pope, what's going on? Then the last one, 1779, 52 poets he mentioned, Samuel Johnson, Dr. Samuel Johnson. It is a massive work of biographical and critical assessments that signal that end of the strict neoclassical era. Okay, so this is how you can put them in correct chronology. Next question we have done this. The function of criticism at the present time, 1884 it was. Defense of poetry, P.B. Shelley, preface to the lyrical ballad. They belong to the Romantic age, and Walter Pepper studies in the history. We can skip. So the first was the function of criticism. C will be the preface to lyrical ballad, 1800, often called the manifesto. We have done this question yesterday. Let's see the next question, everyone. Tactical criticism question we have also done. Okay, let me find some new. See this question. Which of the following pairings correctly identifies a foundational figure of the American New Critics, the Southern Agrarians and their British counterpart? Alan Tate from US and F.R. Lewis UK, T.S. Eliot US and Virginia Woolf UK, William Emerson US and John Crow Ransom UK, Northrop Frye US and Raymond Williams. You have to find the correct pairing. Correct answer option A will be the correct answer. Alan Tate and F.R. Lewis, okay, from US and UK. So Alan Tate, along with Clint Brooks and John Crow Ransom, established formalist analysis, while Lewis, along with I.E. Richards and Emerson, developed the text-based practical criticism at Cambridge. Principle of literary criticism, practical criticism by I.E. Richard. I.E. Richard is the foundational figure of new criticism. Everyone remember. Now let's match these concepts with their correct critics. So the objective correlative heresy of paraphrases, negative capability, and willing suspension of disbelief. S.T. College, John Keats, T.S. Eliot, and Clint Brooks. Objective correlative, T.S. Eliot, Hamlet and His Problems, 1999. Remember heresy of paraphrase, Clint Brooks, The Well-Wrought on Paradox and Irony. He talked about negative capability, John Keats, letter 1816 to 17, written to both his brothers, Thomas Keats, and Willing Suspension of Disbelief by S.T. Coleridge. What's S.T. Coleridge? Okay. So this is the correct matching. Now the heresy of paraphrase argues that you cannot separate the meaning of a poem from its structure and form. So paradox, irony will be also there. Who is the also form the meaning of a poetry. Arrange these foundational texts in the correct order of their publication. The Laugh of the Medusa, Helen Zeus, A Room of One's Own, Virginia Woolf, Sexual Politics, Kate Millett, The Second Sex, Simone de Beauvoir. Correct answer? Correct answer, everybody. Arrange there. You must remember the year. The Laugh of the Medusa, 1970. A Room of One's Own, 1929. Sexual Politics, 1970. Option C will be the 1970. By solving these questions, I'm totally like getting blank. 1929. The Laugh of Medusa will be the 1975. Okay. And the second sex, we all know 1949 by Simone de Beauvoir. So these are the correct chronology. The foundational text, Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf, emphasizing economic independence by a woman that leaves the creative space for all the women writers, female writers. Okay. Then the second sex by Simone de Beauvoir, the existing groundbreaker arguing that one is not born but rather becomes a woman. 1970, a keyword second wave that text that used literary. Here she has criticized D.H. Lawrence to expose patriarchal dominance, sexual politics. Then 1970, Laugh of the Medusa, it is a radical French feminist essay advocating for écriture féminine, women, that is women's writing as a challenge to masculine language structure in the work. Okay. Now you have to arrange these 20th century texts that where you are moved towards practical criticism and the isolation of the text. Option A, Principle of Literary Criticism, I. Richard. Seven Types of Ambiguity, William Sampson. The Well-Wrought on, Clint Brooks, and The Sacred Wood by T.S. Eliot. Let's discuss the correct answer, everybody. There is no options. So option D was The Sacred Woods, T.S. Eliot from the Modern Age. This work contained tradition and the individual talent, 1920, remember the year, and Hamlet and his problems, 1919, setting the stage for modernist theory. 1924, the principles of literary criticism. It applied psychological principles to literary study, establishing practical criticism at Cambridge. You know how many he has given few anonymous works to all the Cambridge students to find out the meaning, to interpret the meaning of the text without having any external background. 1930, the work you have here, The well-wrought urn, it is a masterpiece in close reading that analyzes the complexity and the multiple meanings of words in poetry. Then, the well-wrought urn by Clint Brooks, it is a central text of new criticism which argued that a poem's meaning is inseparable from its structure, and he gave the idea and concept of, here is your paraphrasal, irony and paradox. Okay. The initial questions I put a lot, like all the options were mentioned, but extremely sorry. The later questions, I was in so much hurry, put, forgot to put the options here. Okay, everybody. There are few questions left without option. How would you answer? So thank you so much for joining. I hope you have practiced well. You can watch the previous video, that is extremely helpful. Do subscribe the channel and share. Thank you so much for joining. Take care of yourself and bye bye. All the very best, everybody.